When I handed in my resignation report, Evan frowned slightly, raised his glasses, and stared at me slowly. Give me a reason. I lowered my head to avoid his gaze, pulled the corners of my mouth, and forced a smile as sincere as possible. Mr. Liu, I'm 30 years old and it's time to get married. After a pause, I added, my boyfriend proposed to me not long ago. To resign smoothly, I told a trivial lie. Evan's fingers tapped the desk, a sign of extreme irritation. Perhaps I should be grateful that he wasn't completely indifferent to my departure. After a long moment, Evan handed me back the resignation report. I can approve your marriage leave. But about resigning, I hope you'll think it through. For an instant, I wavered. A seductive voice in my head kept whispering, agree, at least you can keep seeing him. Another voice warned me, he's about to get engaged. It's immoral to have a crush on a married man. My hands hung in the air, but I ultimately refused. This job is too busy. After marriage, I want to focus more on family. I'll finish handing over all my tasks. Sorry, Mr. Liu. At this, Evan fell silent and said coolly, I understand. Happy marriage. Before leaving his office, he'd already buried himself in work again. To him, I was just a subordinate, at best, the most competent one. That day, I sat at my desk staring at the potted plant, rarely lost in thought. My daily work was so hectic, coordinating schedules and serving as Evan's personal assistant, with my phone on standby 24/7. I had to rush to him whenever he needed me, doing the work of several people. Of course, Evan paid me a high enough salary to achieve financial freedom within a few years. Mia called me several times before I snapped back to reality. Jade, Mr. Liu asked me to tell you to go arrange the evening party first. The party was for welcoming Wilian, who'd just returned from studying abroad, attended by Evan's inner circle, young elites from prominent families, wealthy and proud. Normally, outsiders weren't welcome, but I was too indispensable. Few could cater to everyone's preferences and organize events flawlessly. Arriving at the venue, I worked nonstop, briefing staff on dishes, drinks, desserts, and each guest's allergies or preferences. Remove all lilies, young Master Jiang is allergic. Dim the lights, Tim just had eye surgery. Make sure to prepare Mr. Shin's favorite monkey pick tea. As dusk fell, guests began arriving. Tim was first in, greeting me. When will Evan arrive? I checked my watch. He has a meeting tonight, probably in an hour. He collapsed on the sofa, looking exhausted with dark circles under his eyes. I asked for softer music and fetched a blanket. It's chilly tonight, don't catch a cold. They said there's still time, take a break, he said, grinning as he took the blanket. Seriously, won't you dump Evan and come work for me? I'll double your salary. Most people fawned over them, so my indifference made me stand out. I smiled. I'll keep that in mind. If I'm ever jobless, I'll need your help. The night is a little darker. At AT night, the streetlights are on. When the lights are getting brighter, the people are getting together. Evan wears a black coat, brought in a wisp of autumn gloom. I took his coat. I thought maybe this would be the last time. When the group was drunk, I found a moment. He said that he was going to leave his job. Over the years, I have also been taken care of by everyone. He stood up and toasted everyone with a glass of wine. I'm leaving. I didn't understand anything before. There are a lot of Luzi. Thank you all for your tolerance over the years. I and the future, the mountains and rivers are far away. Hopefully there will be a chance to meet. Maybe it's autumn. It adds a sense of separation. There was a moment of silence at the dinner table. Tim shook his glass at me. Break the awkward scene. When it first started, I always feel that you have ulterior motives for missing. Until now, I really believed. Everyone knew what Tim meant. After all, Evan's previous secretaries, they were all expelled for confessing to him. Later, Evan simply recruited only male secretaries. I didn't think about it and was told again. So far, he has won the title of heartthrob. Someone tapped Evan on the shoulder, smiled and teased. I didn't expect it. There really are people who can escape your charm. Evan casually nodded a cigar, laugh and scold and get out. After the meal, a few people put together a game of cards. Feel free to pass the time. Halfway through, Tim asked Evan casually, the girl of the Sioux family that your old lady gave you, have you ever seen anyone? My heartbeat skipped half a beat for a moment. The hand that poured the water was in the air for a moment. After a while, Evan replied casually, if the old lady is not pleased, it will be fine. Whoever marries is not marrying them. The marriages of these people have always been mixed, the result of a variety of interests being considered. In a way, they have access to resources that ordinary people can't imagine. It's also fair to pay some price. Looks, Evan has also embraced such a rule. I've met Vivian, a woman in the south of the Yangtze River. Gentle and lovely, she's a nice girl. If possible, I hope Evan will have a different ending than everyone else. The meal lasted until late at night. The driver waited outside the house all the time. After the side dispersed, it was picked up in time. Only Evan's driver. There were some accidents on the road. Oh, it's a little late. Thereupon, there was a scene where the two of them were the last thing I wanted to be alone. We stood side by side under the street lamps. The lights stretched out our voices for a long time. Every time this happens, those unwilling and dark thoughts in my heart, it will be very depressed. It's just that Evan doesn't know anything. He just stood quietly like that. It's a little less sharp than usual because of the alcohol. It didn't take a while. The driver finally arrived. Evan glanced over at me. Very gentlemanly asked if you were together. I shook my head, a timely show of gratitude, but a smile that doesn't lose distance. Thank you, Mr. Lude. It's just that my fiancé is already on his way. Evan said no more, nodding slightly. He leaned over and got into the car. Finally, I am the only one left in heaven and earth. Masks are worn in layers during the day. This moment, it is finally possible to pick it up. I kicked the heels out of my feet at random. He sat on the flower bed. It's rare to be a little dazed. There was a moment. I didn't know where I was going. It didn't take long. There was rain in the sky. The first autumn rain after the beginning of autumn hit the body. It's cold. It's cold. I walked barefoot along the road. This is a wealthy area. It took a long time to find a taxi. The road used to be taken tonight is under repair. The driver doesn't know. I had to go around and drive out again. Evan didn't expect that. Jade will be seen waiting on the side of the road in the rain again, holding the shoe in one hand. He shook it leisurely. He was a little surprised. I didn't expect Jade, who has always been dignified and rigorous. There will also be such an informal side. After all, I used to see him in the company, and no matter when, he always wears a neat suit shirt, buckled to the top. He's seen a lot of unbuttons. The woman who seemed to be unintentionally leaning down in front of him, Jade, is an exception. He reused him, on the one hand, because of his profession. On the other hand, it is because of his understanding of proportion. When I was about to skip him, the driver asked from the front, you want to take Jade for a long ride? Evan's eyes didn't wave. The simple answer is no. She has a bad opinion of her fiancé. Jade is a smart person. It's just that his eyes don't look good now, but feelings are like drinking water. Warm and cold, self-aware, he doesn't always want to meddle too much. I'm not sure if I saw Evan's car, but in a flash, maybe I'm mistaken. There may be very few taxis like me in the affluent area. The driver was coming here from a long way away. Stand until your legs are a little numbed. I finally waited for my car. When you get home, it was already 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. The whole house was silent. I'll tell you about it. I have a happy family, a fiancé who loves me, lots of friends. People often look at me with envy and say that life is like this. Enough to complete, but actually I don't have anything. No loved ones. There is no lover. No friends. When I was in junior high school, my mom has advanced breast cancer. After cutting the breast, it recurred again within half a year. On an ordinary early morning, my dad went to work, but he never came back. He swept away all the money in the family, leaving my sick mom and my underage me behind. After knowing the news, my mom was unusually calm. She was hospitalized in silent chemotherapy. Occasionally cook for me when I'm in good shape. One evening I came home from school to my mom prepared a table of dishes. She sat across from me and looked at me with a smile. I don't know why. I felt an inexplicable sense of fear. The dishes on the table had a strange smell close to the tip of the nose. I thought of the bathroom, that bottle of rat poison that my mom bought newly. That day I knew for the first time that my mom had so many hands. It's so big that I can't break it off. The strong desire to survive made me take advantage of my mother's unpreparedness, break free from her grasp. I ran to the rooftop in a panic. My mom opened her arms to me while crying, incoherently spoken. The world is so bad. Mom is not at ease. You're here alone. Let's go with my mother. I end the next life. We will be mother and daughter. I cried too. I'm so tired, so tired. I miss the smell of laundry detergent in my mother's arms. So be it. I don't think it's good to be alive. It was so windy on the rooftop that night. And my mother's arms are so warm. My mom took my hand and walked towards the edge. The moment when it is about to fall, I was held by a pair of thin, strong hands. He grabbed me so hard. And no matter how much I struggled, when the wind is blowing, I could only see a pair of bright and amazing eyes. Later I survived. My mom died. That man was Evan. He didn't just save me, and it gave me a reason to live to repay the favor. I felt like I had betrayed my mom. I was like a drowning man, rushed to grab a piece of driftwood. And Lou Simeon is that driftwood. Then fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances all came. The crowd is surging. I grabbed it. His hands looked up at him. How am I going to repay you? I still remember. 16-year-old Evan looked down at me. Tell me very seriously. Then you remember to come to me. My life. It was like being trapped on the night my mom died, and Evan is the only hope. This night, as usual, I was swallowed up by dreams. The dream was full of things from the past. I saw my mom confronting me at the end. Why not go with her? I saw my dad before he left the house. That one was silent, sweating profusely. When I woke up from my dream, I found that my voice was speechless. A temperature of 38 degrees Celsius was measured. 0.8. If it's according to my old nature, it is estimated that I will take a fever-reducing tablet and pull it down, then continue to go to work as if nothing happened. This time, I took a rare leave. I need some time to think about your future path. When Evan arrives at the office, he discovers that Jade has not arrived. After asking, I found out that I was sick and asked for leave. He frowned. The impression of his so-called fiancée was completely defeated. Secretarial assistant Dream temporarily takes Jade's place. He served a cup of coffee. Evan took a slow sip. The expression remains the same. I put one of the sugars. He didn't speak, just took a sip, and he didn't drink it anymore. Another error occurred in the preparation of materials for the morning meeting. Fortunately, he already knew the focus of the negotiations. There was no major incident. The temperature in the office was 1 degree lower. The humidifier didn't turn on. My throat is also a little dry. At the end of the day, I can't say where there is a problem. It's just that there is a sense of inappropriateness everywhere. Evan thought of Jade for the first time. He rarely seemed to think of him, because he never seemed to have a sense of existence. Jade's aptness is that kind of spring breeze and rain, moisturizing things silently. You don't feel this presence, but everything is just right. He frowned. This was the second time he had frowned today. For Jade's hapless fiancé snatched his chief secretary general, lay down for a day. I thought about it for a day. I still didn't think about where I was going from here. It's like a ship lost in the ocean. I can't distinguish between east and west, north and south. Early the next morning, I honestly went to work again. When I got to the office, Xiaoming looked at me cautiously and whispered, Mr. Liu didn't seem to be in a good mood. I also only took one sip of my coffee yesterday morning. Last night's coffee was still on the table. I dipped my hand in a little, took a sip, and instructed Dow Sugar to put an extra 1.3 sugar cubes. 1 more or less will not work. I gave a closer look at how to make coffee. Xiaoming watched carefully from the side. When the coffee is brewed, Evan arrives at the company. I don't know if it's my delusion. He looked at the corner of my lips. It's a little higher than usual. and a bit of resentment hidden in his eyes. The handover was more cumbersome than I expected. I have too many jobs. It's not so easy to hand over all at once. Besides, Evan has never been a servant. Everything in life must be carefully instructed. So I simply took a notebook, from small things to big things, write whatever comes to mind. Such a delay. The work that was originally planned to be handed over in 1 month can only be postponed. I ran into the last thing I wanted to do, go to the airport to pick up Suwon. When I went to the old house, I had a bad heart for Lucinian. Although I didn't do anything, but there is always a little guilt when I see the main master. Yuan was wearing a moon-white cheongsam. An emerald green jade hangs around his neck. It's worth a lot of money at first glance. The hair is coiled up with a hairpin. It's the kind of luxury that you can see at a glance in the crowd. I smiled and stepped forward. Vivian, Mr. Liu asked me to pick you up. Along. Vivian asked me a little bit about Evan. Things. To marry someone who has only met him a few times. It's inevitable to be apprehensive. I could see the uneasiness in his heart. When Xing comforted Dao Lu is always a good person. Vivian, don't worry. Anything can come to me at any time. He looked up at me gratefully. Babbled all the way. To the old house, it was. Take the person to the one who is ready to leave. Old man Lu stopped me. He was a well-known iron hand in the mall in the early years. Now I'm in my 70s. Still in good spirits. Especially a pair of sharp eyes. Secretary Sue. Evan. Evan didn't make it to the old house. The expression on his face remained unchanged. I cautiously replied that there were a lot of things going on in the company today. Mr. Liu, maybe later. Old man Liu snorted coldly. Mercifully let me bring Evan back. I've seen it with my own eyes. Old man Liu is an expert in Evan's method. 6 lashes. Bloodstained. Evan still has the mark on his back today. Out the door. I started dialing Evan's phone quickly. Thankfully, it was dialed to the 3rd time. He finally answered the phone. I hurriedly asked where he was, but he didn't answer. Called my name for a long time. Jade, in a chaotic tone. It's like drinking. There was a loud sound of the sea breeze in my ears. I think I know where he is. When I hurried over there, see Evan leaning against the reef off the coast. There are several cans of liquor sold in the supermarket next to him, hair messy in the night wind. Movement is heard. He glanced up at me. His eyes seem to be clouded, but it's still sharp. It's like I'm drunk, and I don't seem to be drunk. You're here. Wait a minute. I'll be fine right away. Evan patted the spot next to him. Motioned for me to come and talk. The land house is located not far from the sea cliff. Look at the lights at night. But because of the design of its pavilions, it has lost its ancient charm. Evan suddenly asked if it looked good. My eyes were still on her. The bright jawline subconsciously replied that it looked good. All of a sudden, his face flushed. Fortunately, he didn't pay attention. Just went on. But inside is actually a tomb. What about by you making a horse for Tangjin? There are only countless dry bones buried inside. He said it with a smile. But the words are all serious. It is rumored that Lu's fortune is not clean. There are some gray areas involved. These years are in a phase of transformation. I followed him for 7 years. Look at him. How did he grasp the power of the Lu group step by step? How much blood and rain in it? Overt and covert attack. Not enough for outsiders. Will he get tired too? Thinking so, I asked like this. Are you happy? The word happy swirled around the tip of his tongue. He suddenly laughed. But he didn't answer my question. But he looked at me and said, your fiancé can't do it. I was stunned, but he didn't say anything more. Just apologized. Sorry, I crossed the line. Evan, after taking the last sip of his hand, then get up. When he raised his eyes, it was the incomparably expensive Mr. Liu again. On the way home, I've been wondering what Evan means by that. I thought about it for a long time, but I couldn't come up with an answer. It's like I can't figure it out all the time. Why more than a decade ago he would be alone on the roof of the dilapidated building, but it's all about me because I'm leaving. Since then, the mountains and rivers have been longed. I'm afraid I'll never see him again. The day I left my job, it's a rainy day. The rain in the south is always so fine and dense. It's dripping. It seems like there's no end in sight. I sat in my seat, silently packing his things. This location. I've been there for almost a decade. Didn't understand anything from the early 20s to the present day. I know every morning at 9 a.m. the sun will shine obliquely on the cactus I raised. I still know. As long as I quietly nod my feet, you can see Evan's silhouette through the gaps. I relied on that for a while, staggering to live in this world, but now I have to go. I have repaid the favor of my life. 8 years. The rest of the years. It's time for Vivian to accompany him on his way. Xiaoming looked at me with tears in her eyes. I wiped away her tears, say something with a smile. It's not that we can't see you again. But I knew in my heart that I would never see each other again. The city left me with too much pain. It's time for me to leave. When he turned to leave, there are still some regrets. It's a pity I deliberately delayed for so long, but he never saw Evan again. After I left my job, I slept at home in the dark. It's like making up for all the years of missing sleep. I also bought alcohol. The sound of the TV is turned on to the maximum. There's a comedy on TV. I laughed and laughed like a fool. After laughing, he sat on the ground in a daze, looking at the darkness all around, blank and overwhelmed. When I was a child, my greatest wish was to study well as long as the grades are good, and why parents won't quarrel anymore. Later, my dad was gone, and my wish is to make a lot of money, let my mom live. Later, my mom died, and my wishes is to become Evan's most powerful assistant. If she is happy, I will be happy, but now, I suddenly didn't know where I was going. In a daze, the doorbell suddenly rang. Look through the cat's it turned out to be Lucinian. The door opened in a hurry. Only then did I suddenly realize he was also wearing pink bunny pajamas. It's too late to close the door. I had to bite the bullet and invite people back. Try to smile with a decent career, compared to my helplessness. Evan looked calmed. He explained, I called you. Today's document is too urgent. I couldn't find the manuscript for a while. I just happened to drive to the neighborhood. The blush on that face was only for a moment. Soon I was still back there. The smile of the sub-profession is good. Mr. Lou, please take a seat. I need to look it up. I'm looking up the files. Evan sat on the couch, brought up so that he didn't look around. He just stared at me. It makes me feel like I'm on pins and needles. It's just that the more panicked. On the contrary, I couldn't find it. Evan smiled, comforting. Take your time. Then, he asked again if Jade's fiancé didn't live here. I subconsciously lied. He only came back in the evening. I kept looking for half an hour. I just got all the documents I needed, printed out and give it to Evan. Evan took the paper. For some reason, he suddenly looked at me fixedly, staring at people's hair. I just wanted to speak. He suddenly laughed. It's still the kind of spring breeze that makes people feel like a spring breeze. But there is a distance laughed. I'm getting married soon. I really can't find the right person to be in charge. I wonder if Jade can do me a favor. I'll pay my salary. I have no experience in saying no to Evan. The body has given the answer before. The heart, nodding inexplicably. Then he looked at the man in front of him and smiled lightly. I swallowed it again somehow. After that day, I'm back to Evan, responsible for his engagement ceremony. I thought, maybe that's fine. Only by seeing him get married can he really die, because I am ashamed of Sue Wan. Do everything yourself. Hopefully he can have a perfect engagement ceremony. It's just that Lucinian didn't know what to be busy with during this time. Rarely comes. I'm the only one who can. Contact me for anything. Then it's up to me to explain his request. If it wasn't his engagement feast. It's the same as everyone else. Yuan's expression became more and more lonely day by day. It was the time for the dress. He looked at me pleadingly. Jade, help me ask if he's coming over today. In accordance with professionalism, I shouldn't have made this call, but I still hit. After the phone is connected, Evan's voice came. Hey. The background is noisy. Evan's voice was a little drunken and hoarse. He was at the wine party and wanted to hang up the phone. I thought of Sue Wan's sad expression again. I carefully said that the dress had arrived today. Are you coming to the old mansion? There was no sound from the other side for a long time. I just wanted to apologize for trespassing. Evan spoke. Yes, you can come and pick me up. I don't know why he wanted me to go over and pick him up, but it was done. Hurry up. Hurry, hurry. When they arrived, the wine party had already dispersed. Evan alone, drunk and hazy, lying on the sofa. I was half crouched on the ground, gently patted him, calling Mr. L.U.M.R. Lou. He looked up suddenly, looked straight at me. His eyes are as sharp as a blade. I was a little stunned. But only for a second. Soon he changed back to a hazy look that was haunted by the smell of wine. It was as if I was just dazzled by the moment. I helped him stagger into the car. Soon as you get to the car, and he fell asleep. Through the reflector, I could just see his face. I rarely get a chance to look at him in the open. I couldn't help but look at it twice. The guilt for Vivian deepened a little. Deeper, I withdrew my gaze. I recited the mantra several times. Somehow my heart suddenly became faintly uneasy. I've always trusted my instincts a lot. The brain quickly began to spin. And oh, there's a black buggy in the back. Always follow me. It's been half an hour since then. Mr. Lou. Mr. Lou. I tried to wake Evan up, but the people in the back row remained motionless. I can't help it. I can only speed up. The car behind also began to accelerate. 2 cars speeding down the ring road. It is clear that the car behind it is modified, and no matter how fast I sped, still followed by him with ease. Eventually, I saw him crash into me, and then walk away on your own. Bang! The car was hit and rolled over. Luckily, I got a steering wheel at the end. Didn't fall directly into the sea. There was a mist of blood in front of him. The brain is very groggy. I struggled out of the gap in my seat. Evan was pressed behind the saddle. This time. I finally opened my eyes. He tried to save himself. It's just crushed by the frame. I found a crowbar from the trunk of the car, using all kinds of physics knowledge. Tried to pry the car door, but the doors remained untouched. Fuel tank tipping. The oil is constantly spreading. There is a faint smell of smoky fire in the back seat. The more urgent the situation, the clearer my mind became. Afraid. Useless emotions such as panic were all excluded from me. There was only one thought in my head. It's to get Evan out. The flames continued to spread. The car could explode at any moment. Evan looked up at me. The salary I pay you. It's not enough for you to save me with your life. Jade, let's go. The car was about to explode. It's annoying. Evan kept babbling. I viciously interrupted him and shut up. Evan didn't know what to do. Suddenly laughed. I didn't have time to figure out the meaning of his smile. The flames are still spreading. I don't know when my hand made a cut, drop by drop on the ground. I used my last bit of strength. Finally got Evan out of the car, then hold him up. Step by step, I walked out with some difficulty. Shortly after Evan and I left, the car exploded. Red. Burned the whole night red. I'm glad I was not brainwashed by the white and thin aesthetics. I'm strong enough. Enough stamina. It saved Evans and my lives. The sound of an ambulance could be heard in the distance. The exhaustion of hindsight came to me overwhelmingly. It was pitch black. Evan woke up earlier than Jade. The car was hit at the end. One moment. He slapped the secretary's steering wheel at himself. He sat next to Jade. It seems that for the first time, I have a good look at the woman in front of me. Evan has been left behind by many people. When I was a child, there was once, he and his father were kidnapped. Only one person can be on board. He was left behind without hesitation. No matter how much he cried, how to shout, just watched the boat fade away. His mother had promised him that she would never leave him. But it's still a rope. He lost his life. A lot of people came into his life and did not hesitate to abandon him and leave. He has always been the one who has been discarded. And the woman in front of her, he had the best reason to abandon him, but he didn't. He has always prided himself on being able to read people's hearts. But this time, he didn't know what the woman in front of him wanted. What he wants. He thought 13 like a bizarre dream. After waking up, Evan was looking at me thoughtfully. My heart sank. Evan, has he seen it? I have ill intentions towards him. Evan looked at me quietly. The eyes are facing each other, and my palms were sweating. It's like waiting for a trial. Why save me? The brain was spinning in an instant. And the next second, I replied to Mr. Jiang with a smile. I'm a gambler. The life-saving grace of the president of the Jiang group. Not everyone can get it. Chance. Evan frowned. Then he looked at me heavily. It's like assessing the credibility of my words. What do you want? The doctrine of their class is, the one who doesn't want anything is the one who wants the most, and the exchange of interests is the most reassuring. I thought about it. What is it worth the risk? A request that was enough to reassure Evan. I want a 1% stake in Lou's group. For the rest of my life, I will have no worries about food and clothing. Evan tight. The frown relaxed. I knew I was on the right move. He smiled. Shares are such an unreliable thing. It's not as good as a storefront house in a prosperous area. What do you think, Jade? I laughed too. Tens of millions of storefronts. Then thank you, Mr. Liu. Everyone takes what they need. Alusinian doesn't have to feel guilty about me. He got up and said lightly that Jade have a good rest. You don't have to worry about getting engaged. I lay in the hospital for a whole week. The day I was discharged from the hospital, it was also a great day for Evan's engagement. It's all over the place. Are all reports related to the marriage of the Liu and Su families, the scene of the rose dress. It's like a dream that it's good. From now on the bridge to the bridge, the road back. I have finished my cause. Get what you deserve. But why am I still a little sad? I walked down the street alone with nothing to do. Walked to a bar by mistake. All these years, I'm usually the one who ends up for everyone. I rarely drink alcohol. I don't like to drink either. It is said that getting drunk relieves 1,000 sorrows, but the wine is really bitter. Tears fell from my eyes. Fall in the wine. Mix into a glass of bitter and salty liquid. Before consciousness is about to disappear, I placed an errand order. I told him to send me home safely. Engagement banquet. Evan answered the phone. Not a prearranged call from him. It's Jade's phone. But it doesn't matter. He just needed an excuse to leave the engagement party. For what the reason is, it doesn't matter. After arriving at the bar by car, the little brother in the blue vest hurriedly stepped forward. He asked me to send him home. He didn't tell me where his house was. I really can't help it. Only then did he get through the number he pinned. He glanced at Evan, a little scared. He said that you shouldn't be his boss. He won't give me a bad review when he wakes up tomorrow. Evan took him. Secretary Jiang in his hand comforted the injured brother. Don't worry, it won't. I'll take care of the rest. He helped Jiang Yu to walk out. The woman in her arms was not at ease. A moment to poke him in the face. A moment of tugging at his hair. He seemed to be really drunk. It is said that they spit out the truth after drinking. Evan had the heart to test it. What are you doing with me? The woman frowned. Seems to be thinking. Then he smiled silly. Gratitude? Evan frowned again. What a favor. Saving. Evan asked again. Then how are you going to repay this favor? Give him the best of everything in the world. Why give him the best of everything in the world? Because I love him. Evan took an inquiry course in college. The point is to follow the logic of the other party. Go deeper and deeper. Then lead the other person to your own question. He thought he could ask something. I didn't think I would get such an answer. He loved her, and Jade loved him. Evan looked at Jade again and again. He laughed silly. Very drunk. It's not like it's pretending. Many people have said that they love him. He's also seen a lot of different kinds of love. Intensely there's a trickle. But it was the first time he had seen this kind of love, a love that has been hidden in the heart for several years and no one knows. Some unexplained things are explained. Why doesn't the Jade family have a little bit of a man's thing? Evan thought. Can he trust him? Just because of love, life or death doesn't matter. The next day, I woke up from my drunkenness with a splitting headache. I vaguely remember that I had a dream last night. The only thing that is cleared, was Evan's dark eyes. How did I dream of him again? Dreaming about someone else's husband. This is unethical. For a long time, I forced myself to don't pay attention to the news of the Liu group, the running of the whole world. BY train. Feel free to drop into a location. Get out. Then wander aimlessly through different cities. I personally visited some of them. The specific situation was assessed. Donations were then made in tears. Sometimes I often think, maybe my mom just wants to live. If someone had pulled me at the time, isn't everything going to be different? There are too many people in this world. I can only help what I can see. See Evan's message again. It turned out to be the news of the bankruptcy of the Lu Group. On the cover, the photo of Evan and Soo-won is artificially split in half. A few large blood-red letters read that the marriage was empty. Where is Lu's group going? I was anxious. It called Soo-won. There seemed to be an apologetic tone in his tone. In the end, he just sighed. Jade, you should know, I've never been married. It's the family. There's nothing I can do. After the initial panic, my brain started to calm down. The more I think about it, the more wrong it becomes. I suddenly realized, maybe Evan did it all. Over the years, Lu's group seems to be full of flowers, involving all walks of life. But the tale is too big to fall. Under the prosperity is full of crises. I tried to warn Evan. They were all blocked back by him painlessly. I thought he had other plans. But I had such an idea from the beginning. I suddenly remembered what he looked like when he was drunk that day. It turned out that the Lu family was just a cage for him. I suddenly felt there should be someone by his side at this moment. It's like the day my mom dragged me off the building. Evan grabbed my hand. It doesn't matter who that person is. Just hold his hand. Come to think of it, I rushed to the company desperately. A company that was originally brightly lit. Now most of it is gray. Some of the company's last funds. It's all about employee compensation. I walked through the layers of workstations, pushing open the door. Evan's whole body was overshadowed. The wind-blown blinds that enveloped the imperial capital hunted. He looked up at me. The gaze is dark. I don't know what I'm thinking. I stepped forward and shook his hand. Obviously, I thought of thousands of theories before I came, but I couldn't think of anything all at once. All I knew at the moment was that I was going to hold his hand. It's like he held my hand many years ago. He thought of his mother again, a commoner girl who marries into a wealthy family. In the end, he became an unsightly madman in a wealthy family. People try to use all sorts of rules. Will be a mountain wild child, shape into a qualified person. The master mother, be hypocritical, be calm and restrained. Know how to make trade-offs. Everybody's on their way to drive my mom crazy. I added a handful of firewood. Later people said that he was not blessed. I can't afford to do that. But what if the rules are inherently wronged at Lu's group? There are still some illegal activities in private. His mother just couldn't bear to see something. He can't bear to eat people, and they ate him. Evan was going to be alone. Face everything. Let all sin be dusted. The earth returned to the earth, but the river fish came. Because of love, he saw Jiang Yu when she first came. While everyone was busy packing up and leaving, he walked against the flow of people through the mess on the ground towards her, like a princess who came to protect her. Evan thought of this, suddenly laughed. How can there be such a big fool in the world? Without saying a word, he stepped forward and took his hand. A steady stream of heat passed through his palm. Until this moment, Lucinian found out. My hands are so cold. He took his hand instead. The wind and the rain shake. Only his heat is real. I accompanied Evan. The final liquidation of the Lu group was carried out. Evan accepted the media.body interviews. Someone with righteous indignation smashed eggs on him. The Lu group owes too many people a blood debt. The anger of the masses needs an outlet. This is what he should repay. The day the Lu's group declared its official bankruptcy, old man Lu had a cerebral infarction and was admitted to the hospital. Evan told me to have a drink with him. I found out when I arrived at the location. That's his home in the city center. I stood in the doorway. There was a bit of a dilemma for a while. It's not good. I want to say between us. It doesn't seem like a relationship where you can drink together, and this will make me arrogant. Evan lowered her eyes. There is a bit of a sense of depression on the body. There seemed to be a bit of choking in his tone. Did he cry? I'd guess whatever. Always his grandfather. My heart was suddenly crumbled. I took the bottle, looking at him. His eyes lit up. Forget it, sacrifice your life to accompany the gentleman. It's nothing more than patience. Isn't patience what I do best? I've never seen Evan like this. Shirts and ties are scattered. The suit is full of pleats, decadent and fragile. It's like melting into the night. He seemed to be a man of heaven forever, whenever it appears, always surrounded by people. Every move is expensive, and now like a man in heaven, suddenly it landed on the ground. Drunk in a haze, Evan called my name vigorously, and I must respond. Finally, Evan's voice was a little hoarse. Tap on the eardrum point one by one. It's like a knock on the heart. He jerked close to me. The distance between them is only an inch. I could see the light hitting her eyelashes, sprinkle the shadow of comfort. Jade, will you be all the time? I didn't answer. After all, no one will always be by anyone's side. Besides, in what capacity I have always been by his side, but he kept asking. It's like an answer that doesn't ask. I will not give up. In the end, I had to do nothing. And I replied, yes, I'll always be there. Got a satisfactory answer. Evan paused. Look at me with a frown. I don't know what I'm thinking, and then somehow suddenly shouted heat, forcefully ripped off the 2 buttons of the shirt. With a plausible temptation, I never thought about it. Such words. One day I was able to get involved with Evan. There was a moment of stunness. I forced myself to look away, but I don't know why. Obviously shouting hot. But they stuck to me one by one. I felt my face burned. I think it's been a really hot winter. I used that last bit of concentration. I distanced myself from Evan. He looked up at me inexplicably. Then he started drinking again. Finally drank himself to the point where he couldn't wake up. Fainted in the last moments. He looked at me for a long time. There was a hint of encouragement in his eyes. Why encouragement? Settle, Evan. I went home. I thought about it all night. Didn't figure out why it would be coolly. The next day, Evan made a phone call. Special thanks to me for taking good care of her. I smiled, a little embarrassed. T.O. put it mildly. It's all what I should do. Mr. Lou, the phone was stalled for a few seconds. Then Evan gritted his teeth. I pronounced my name. Jade, you really are. Didn't tell me either. What is it? The phone was hung up. Confused me. The Lou group is gone. Me and Evan. There seems to be no reason to continue to see each other. I haven't seen him in days. When I see him again, he knocked on my door drunkenly. The moment the door is open, he fell into my arms. I helped him to the couch with all my might. When I got up and wanted to leave, he grabbed me. One. Didn't hold on. I fell into his arms. So close to each other. He looked at me very seriously, gently. Calling me will be obviously superfluous. You is not welcome. The words rolled between his lips and teeth. It just sounds so good. All he has in his eyes is me. Suddenly, my heart began to beat wildly. Closer, closer, slowly approaching. Finally, everything was a mess behind the scenes. All escaped the tracks. All my supposed patience was burned to ashes. After waking up the next day, I ran away out of nowhere. Halfway through the run, I suddenly remembered that this seemed to be my home. Stay outside until it's getting dark. Cautiously pushed the door open. Suddenly the lights came on. Evan hasn't even left. Just raised his eyes and looked at me with a smile instead of a smile. How? Don't want to be responsible. I froze where I was. It's a bit of a dilemma for a while. Let's talk. I was trying to persuade him. Don't take last night's events to heart. Diet for men and women. There are also momentary drunkenness and obsession. There was a little helplessness between his eyebrows. Stopped me. You can't say anything nice with this mouth. You listen to me first. Evan's expression was serious. The day Lou went bankrupt, he wasn't as serious as he is today. It made me nervous all of a sudden. Jade, you think too well. In fact, I am a very ordinary person. I have the greed, hatred that ordinary people have. I shook my head and wanted to say no, but he had already gone on. I know that. Your mind isn't particularly clear right now. It's unfair to make you decide now, but I'm afraid to give you time. You can see what kind of person I am. You won't like me that much anymore. It doesn't matter if you are grateful for my feelings. Respect and look up. You provoked me. No wonder. There is no reason to run away after provoking. Evan pulled out a ring out of nowhere. His eyes burned at me. Is Jade willing to marry me? I just feel brain one. The piece of chaos is confused, somehow nodded, and so the ring was put on. Did you get your ID card? I nodded subconsciously. Evan looked at me with a smile. Let's go. Where to get the certificate? We have become the last couple of newcomers to the Civil Affairs Bureau today. It was dusk when it came out. The sunset is gorgeous. Half of the sky was dyed red at this point. All delusions and unwillingness have settled. Good night.